Kylian Mbappe to Manchester United. Now, I don't normally like to start talking about deals before they're done. Well, I do. I like transfer stuff. We all love a bit of transfer stuff. But when Marzio talks, then the United stand, and Manchester United fans especially, they do sit back and take notice. And Marzio has come out with a very, very interesting comment tonight. That is this. Manchester United and Jose Mourinho are bewitched by Mbappe, and they really, really want him. What do you know about him? He played very well against Manchester City, which is always a positive. He is just turned 18 in December. He is 5'10". There's a big something else that I need to tell you about him. But as a player, if you've seen him play up front for Monaco or just off the striker, he's very, 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 very similar to Thierry Henry. Now, where we've heard that before, we've heard it, of course, with another player we got from Monaco in the name of Anthony Martial. And I have concerns. I have three concerns about this deal. But first of all, it's very, very interesting to go from, oh, United might sign him. We only heard last week that United offered 90 million and they went up to 110 million. And we all thought, what a load of rubbish. However, as I've said, for those who are joining us going question mark, this is not from us. This is not from the United stand. This is from somebody who, to be honest, when he said stuff last summer, pretty much came off every single time. Mkhitaryan, Zlatan, Pogba, very, very early. And he's early with this. He's early with this. Marzio, follow him on Twitter. He's absolutely superb when it comes to United transfer news. He's obviously had a year off because we've not been doing anything, but he's come out tonight and said that Manchester United want Kylian Mbappe from Monaco. They are bewitched by him. Mourinho loves him and they want to get hold of him. Now, when I said to you there, 90 million, 110 million pound offer in euros, that sounds like a hell of a lot of money. How would we ever do that and get Griezmann? But what I would say is this, and it's not really been mentioned that much. Why would we be paying £100 million for an 18-year-old who has only got 2 years left on his contract? This is the big thing. He's only contracted till 2019, which when it comes to when we've been talking about other transfers over the last few weeks, most players would be 2020, 2021. 2 years left on his contract. It's not a massive amount. So Monaco will be looking to get him on a longer term contract this summer. If they can't do that, then maybe that's why Manchester United are sniffing around. What do I think of the player? I'm not going to baffle you with, oh, I've been watching him since he was 15 and, I've watched every game he played this season. I've watched him a handful of times. Obviously watched him in both of the Man City games. A very, very, very exciting talent. And at 18 and 5'10", to be doing that is amazing. And he will grow. He will grow. He's much like Rashford's growing at the moment. He will grow. He will get stronger. He'll probably get a little bit taller as well. He's got the potential to be one of the best strikers in the world football. And that's why it doesn't surprise me that Manchester United and Jose Mourinho are after him. I had my slight concerns because I actually think Rashford's as good and is potentially better. And I can hear all the laughing from you all out there right now, but I do. I think if you put Marcus Rashford playing week in, week out in most teams in Europe, especially of the standard of a Monaco or an Everton or someone like that, he would be scoring a lot of goals. He's just not getting as many opportunities for Manchester United up front at the moment because of Zlatan. But would I turn down as buying Kylian Mbappe? Then of course I wouldn't. No, he's a fantastic player. But I would have concerns about what we're doing with the long-term future of somebody like an Anthony Martial, who actually I really like and really rate, and I still think he has got a good future at Manchester United. So there are concerns about that. But it's interesting. It is very, very interesting when somebody like, I say, Marzio comes out with a comment like that, because he's quite guarded a lot of the time, and what he comes out with, he's not, he's not the Daily Mirror, he's not the Sun. He's not saying we're signing him or anything like that. He's just saying Manchester United are bewitched by him, and Mourinho especially wants him at Manchester United. And to come out and say that, it could come to nothing. And to be honest, if you'd said to me 2 hours ago, what do you think about Mbappe to United? I would personally say, I can't see it happening. A lot of money for a young player. He doesn't really fit in with what we need at the moment, because if Zlatan goes, we need an experienced striker to win a Premier League. I mean, imagine if Zlatan goes, you get Mbappe in, and we go with Mbappe, Rashford, Martial as our forwards next year. I don't know whether they can win you a Premier League because are they that experienced. But it's exciting that Mourinho would be interested in that sort of player, because again, I wouldn't have thought he would. I thought he'd want experience. So very, very excited. He's probably, if he has a season like he's had this year, next year, he's probably going to go to Real Madrid. So why shouldn't Manchester United be trying to get him now? I suspect a lot of other clubs will be going for him. And if Manchester United are interested in him, fantastic. And it's the sort of signing that, to be honest, people can say, oh, we're just signing players, this, that and the other, which is true. But when you look at the Manchester United youth setup, there's a real dearth or lack strikers. You know, recently when we've had injuries and that, there isn't really anybody to... Remember the other week when we played Chelsea and we thought Marzio, Rashford, Rooney and Zlatan were out? People were like, play somebody from the youth setup. There isn't really anybody coming through for a few years in the youth setup. So signing a young striker actually makes a hell of a lot of sense. The money aspect of it, of course we can afford it. The talent aspect of it, well, it just... If you like fast, skillful players who can score goals, then this lad has got it in his locker and has been doing it consistently all season, and he's doing it in the Champions League. Of course, Monaco will be playing in the Champions League quarterfinals because they knocked Man City out, so his stock can only rise. He played for France the other day. Griezmann came out with the comments after training with him for a few days that this lad is going to bench one of us, and he probably will do. He's probably going to be the next big thing. So Manchester United going for him would be exciting. And let's not forget, we did this a few years ago with somebody called Cristiano Ronaldo, and this lad potentially could be an absolute superstar. But I want to quantify that by saying so could Marcus Rashford, and I do believe that Marcus Rashford can be as good as whatever Mbappe is going to be. He just needs to be given the time, and I think Mourinho believes in him as well. I think Rashford has shown that. So Gaffer says Mbappe is better than Rashford. It's a no-brainer. Of course, Gaffer's probably watched Mbappe every single minute of his career. He's got a season ticket at Monaco. Don't talk nonsense. I don't like that sort of thing. I don't like people who start going, oh, because he played well in a Champions League game, he's better than Marcus Rashford. Have some loyalty to your own players. Have some loyalty to a player that's come through the youth system as a kid and is a Manchester United product. If you're asking me who I want to play up front for Manchester United, Mbappe or Rashford, it's always going to be Rashford, because that's what Manchester United's all about. But if you're asking me if I want us to go and sign Mbappe from Monaco, then of course I do, because I think he's a very, very exciting talent, and I think he's got the potential to be one of the world's best players. But I also think Rashford has. I also think Martial has, potentially. So it would be very, very exciting if this can do. This is breaking news for people who are not knowing what it's on about. We don't do the whole Kylian Mbappe to sign for Manchester United and don't put a question mark on the end like we have. And this is not from some secret source that we've got. This is from Marzio. If you follow the United Stand, and you've been following the United Stand for the last couple of summers, you'll know that when it comes to transfer news, we're very quick to react if we think it's something credible. And Marzio pretty much was on the money last summer. Now, it doesn't mean he's going to stay on the money, but when he comes out like he has half an hour ago and said that Manchester United really want Mbappe, they're bewitched by him, and Mourinho loves him, then you've got to react to that. Marzio, this could be the summer where he gets it wrong, but he doesn't tweet out a lot about Manchester United or English football in general, and when he does, he tends to be in the know. So very, very interesting. Chad Sproul, I didn't see his comments on Chelsea earlier. If you can get them into the live comments, that'd be interesting. And Rashford did play very well tonight. And the deal is so on, says James Pearce. Well, this is why we've reacted to it. I don't really like, getting too excited about stuff, because I think that's unfair to Manchester United fans. It's unfair on us to start building stuff up as, oh, it's going to happen, when you don't necessarily know that it is. But when Marzio says something, like I said, last summer we were pretty much reacting to what he was saying a couple of weeks before anybody else was, and he was on the money. He was the first one about Pogba, he was the first one about Mkhitaryan, and he was the first one about Zlatan. He didn't get Bailly, but he can't have everything. But it is interesting. Maya thinks it will happen. Are we bringing back Michael Keane? I don't think Marzio will be that interested in that deal, to be honest. Surely going for Mbappe means that Zlatan won't sign a new deal, says Peter Freeland. Well, it's something we can pick up on the Skype Goldbridge show tomorrow night, isn't it? But Marzio is the person. Gino Bass, I agree on rating Rashford and Mbappe both, but do you reckon Mbappe would get playing time, considering Rashford doesn't even get playing time? Well, we'd have to get rid of somebody. I don't think we could have Mbappe as part of our squad as things are at the moment, without getting rid of somebody, because Rashford's hardly playing, is he? So Zlatan's going to play every week. I think it would lean towards the fact that Zlatan will probably go in the summer, and maybe Manchester United weren't planning on that happening. I think a lot's happened at United in the last month. I think a month ago Mourinho probably would have thought that Zlatan's going to stay. I don't necessarily think that is the case now, and I think we are starting to move. The one thing about Mourinho, and we said it on the Sunday night show about an hour ago, is that Mourinho moves quick. quack. He's not Donald Duck. He moves quick in the transfer market. And as Jason Garbutt says, when Damarcio's Hawks, he gets most of his stuff right. And it's very, very big news that is tonight. Damarcio's come out and basically said that Manchester United are bewitched by Kylian Mbappe at Monaco, and Mourinho really wants him at United. Now, I can't tell you that deal's going to happen, but if you want it to happen, it's a very, very exciting thing. I wouldn't be going rushing putting your mortgage on it, but it's far better than, that's better than Griezmann at the moment, and I think Griezmann will happen. We've not heard anything concrete about Griezmann from anybody who's really credible, but I do think it will happen. But Marzio is credible when it comes to Manchester United transfer news, so hence we've reacted. We get loads of little tidbits all the time, we don't react to it, but yeah, I think there's something in it. I really do. Adam M's on about Lukaku. If we get Mbappe, we're not getting Lukaku. I would say that for 100%. We won't be going to get Lukaku as well, because Lukaku is going to cost about £60 million. Mbappe is probably going to cost about the same. And if you get Griezmann as well. This talk that was going on last week about is getting Kylian Mbappe and us offering €90 million and then offering €110 million. I'm not massively up on what the exchange rates are at the moment because Brexit's messing it all up, but €90 million used to be around 60 to 70 million pounds sterling. I think a 60 million pound offer for Mbappe would get him with add-ons. I think unless he goes and rips it up for the last few weeks in the Champions League and they win the Champions League, in which case everyone in the world will want him, I think 60 million pounds would get Mbappe, considering if you've joined late, his contract runs out in 2019, which isn't yet next year, it's the year after obviously, but that's quite a short contract. Monaco will want to get him on a longer contract, so 60 million pounds would probably do it, and I think from what I've seen of it, I'd be happy with that. Scott Kent thinks it's going to happen. Chad Sproul, Monaco said they want €130 million, or I wouldn't worry about that. And Mbappe any day over Lukaku, said Rude the Ninester. It's interesting, isn't it? Do you want Lukaku, who's strong, good in the air, well built, or do you want an 18-year-old? And let's not forget, Mbappe only turned 18 in December. He won't be 19, funnily enough, until this December. There's two advantages to that. One, that he's playing very well at the moment, and he's so young. Two, that he's still got growing. He will still grow physically and probably height as well. He's 5'10" at the moment. So very, very interested by this deal. If it's going to happen, as I say, I clarify, he's 5'10". He's just turned 18 in December. His contract's up in 2019. And Damarcio, the man, has said that Manchester United are very interested in him. They're bewitched by him, and Mourinho wants him at Manchester United. I think, watch this space. I think there's a very, very good chance this deal will happen. We'll see what happens. We'll obviously revisit tomorrow. We're back at 8:30 tomorrow night unless something else happens, but it's very, very interesting. I would say again though, I'd put a qualifier with this. It's not a deal that's going to get signed early like Memphis Depay was a couple of years ago, because for the same reasons with the Griezmann deal, people keep telling you that Griezmann's going to happen in the next couple of days or the next few days or the next couple of weeks, and they'll probably tell you the same about Mbappe. Neither deal will happen until the end of the season because they're both playing Champions League football with their clubs, and they don't know where Manchester United are going to be next year either. So we've probably spoken to the agent, we may have even spoken to the club, we may have even spoken to the player, and there may be tentative interest, but nobody's going to agree anything until at least the end of May. But it's very exciting. He's a very exciting player, and I think if we got him, we'd be the envy of Europe. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Andreas thinks we could get him for 40 million. Irish Reds wants Neymar. And William Brown says, let's get Griezmann and play Rashford up front. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Thanks for watching. Just a quick video. Get your thoughts below. Give us your thoughts on Mbappe. It's on Damarcio, this one. And I tell you what, he gets it right a lot of the time. So it's a very exciting thing to be thinking about on a Sunday night or whenever you're watching. Drop a like on the video. Give us your comments on what you think about it. Let's see what happens. But when Damarcio speaks, we listen. Speak to you later.